And
I guess.
don't forget, there's a moment that I want to show my matrix, right?
Yeah. All right. I guess we are live. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sprint 76 review of the platform teams. The teams are very excited to show you the progress and what they are working on. My name is Balázs. I'm the Scrum Master, one of the Scrum Masters of the platform teams, and we are going to present today our status and some demo show of our work in probably in 60 minutes. So we are planning to 60 minutes, and depending on the questions, it might take 1.5 hours. So we are planning between 60 and 90 minutes based on the questions you have. And we are going to basically answer the questions at the end of the review. So may I pass it to you, Maciek, and then start the slideshow as well.
Sure, thanks, Balázs. Okay, so as Balázs said, we will take you through the progress that have been made by the whole platform team for the last 2 weeks. And sorry, I'll maybe introduce myself once again. I probably remember us from last 2 weeks, but I'm Maciek, and I'm the technical product owner of the platform project. We'll take you through, we'll explain our goals and take you through the update of each component of the platform product. That is protocol, GroveDB, SDK, and Tenderdash. Yeah, the sprint goal was to deploy platform v22 on testnet, which unfortunately wasn't accomplished. The team is very close to it. We faced several integration issues with putting all independent components together, but we had a definite delivery, which will be discussed slightly by the protocol part of the team. GroveDB was focused mainly on optimization and a bit of maintenance, handling smaller issues with how the storage operations are working within the whole platform. SDK was like just a few words of high-level comment about this. SDK was focusing was kind of bit in a parallel to the whole flow of the platform project, and was focusing on continuation of implementing SPV in our wallet. Tenderdash, on the other hand, finalizing backports from Tendermint upstream, and it will be facing towards pre-release for DevNet. From that point, I can just invite you to demonstrations of particular team members and of particular areas. Let's start with the protocol part.
Thank you. Ivan?
Thank you, Balázs. My name is Ivan Shumkov. I'm a platform developer, and I would like to share the current v22 release status with you. Just as a reminder, the main goals of 22 release was to replace MongoDB for secondary indices to our in-home solution, what we call GroveDB, and secondary indices built on top of it. For that, we created a new component. We call it RS Drive. It's Rust implementation of Drive. And the last 2 weeks, we continue to integrate together GroveDB, REST drive, and JavaScript drive. So we faced with several incompatibilities issues, and we made a dozen of fixes in all areas, but we integrated. And currently, we're really in a good position. We are made all tests are passing the platform test, and including the test suite is our end-to-end testing tool, which is testing the whole platform functionality. Last week we released a new dev version of 22 and successfully deployed on DevNet. It works already for 4 days without any failures, so it's a good sign. And our mobile teams are started to integrate the new changes and new protocol changes to their code base. And we're really close to accomplish testing and release the 22 to the testnet. Kostya will demonstrate how the tests are passing right now. So these green check marks makes us feel better. Kostya?
Yeah, sure. So let me demonstrate it. Here we have an open platform project, and here we have platform test suite component, which consists of the tests that we use to test the whole platform, that everything, to ensure everything works as expected. We use it to test either local network or rec test. Right now I'm running local network, consists of 3 master nodes and 1 seed node. So if we, if we go here and run all the tests, so right now the tests are running, and in a moment we will see. Here it is. So the first test was passed, the second one, and another one. So the whole testing takes about 10 minutes. So I'm not sure we want to wait 10 minutes just to see everything is fine. So here is my previous run all the tests. So here you can see the same comments and that everything is green. And here is the summary that all tests passed. So I guess that's it.
Thank you.
Let me pass my torch to the next person.
Well, that would be me then. Thanks very much, Kostya. I did want to
share.
Oh, yes, great.
Can you
I did
see
want
it?
to say, yes, I did want to say something very quickly. We got to DevNet on Friday night. So because the DevNet only hit on Friday night, the idea was to potentially have a demo of DashPay being shown on the mobile apps to show, hey, the new system is working on the mobile apps. But from Friday night to early Tuesday, it's not a lot of time to have a new version and test things. So we did not have it in time. So next time we will be showing that same demo, but with the actions of live users. So it will maybe speak a little bit more to people. I also kind of wanted to, before we continue, talk a little bit about a question that we got last time. which is why did we do all this work? Why did we not use an already existing system? And this was asked multiple times, and I think that it really should be answered, because it's important for everybody to understand, like, no, we're not doing this work just because it's fun. It's because we really have to. So I prepared a little spreadsheet. Actually, Virgil from the research team prepared it, but with some guidance. So I'll be sharing that 1 second. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. So basically, we needed multiple things when we were looking for a solution. We needed to be able to prove, I'm going to go through the top elements and kind of explain why they were important. Document oriented, because in a decentralized system, it's very difficult to have efficiency on a non-document oriented database. A little bit less important to talk about though. Inclusion proofs. Now this is very, very important for our system. It basically says, oh, can we prove that anything in our system exists? So that is very, very important. And of these various solutions that we see here, only Trillion actually had proper inclusion proofs and Filecoin. Also non-inclusion proofs. So saying like, does something exist? And then to be able to prove that it doesn't exist in the system. Range proofs. Now, nobody else has range proofs of these various systems. Range proofs are, please prove a range of elements from A to B. So if you, what would that mean to an actual query? It would mean, give me all people, like if you had a contract that had people's ages, for example, and you said, give me all people that are between 15 and 20 years old. Well, you would have a range from 15 to 20 in a Merkleized tree, and it would give you the proofs with Merkleized hashes. Now, nobody else has that. So we can't, there was always this idea, maybe we can take one of these other solutions and modify it. But I think that what you can see is that there's so much red that taking another solution and modifying it would have taken longer than what we wanted to build ourselves. So then the root hash is very important for most of these systems. And you can see like ImmuDB has it, Trillion has it, ProvenDB has it. I'm actually quite surprised that Covenant SQL also supposedly has it, but some of these projects, the documentation is not super great. So it's not super easy to find out if they really do or don't, without spending hours on it. So in that case, we either put it in orange. I guess this one should be in orange instead. Sorry, guys. Data immutability. Now, this is something that's very important for blockchain systems. Sometimes you want your data to exist forever. Currently, we will be having that in V23. It is not a very difficult feature to add in, but it is something that we can currently have on the contract. Like, it's not preventing contract development, so we decided to just push it back to the next version. Data immutability, that is something that is much harder to do in blockchain, where data can actually change from one state to another. So if you have something on the blockchain, and let's say it's represents an object, and your contract allows you to change it, then you should be able to change it. And this is actually a very good feature of our system that many other systems do not have. Now, something that was completely necessary was secondary indexes. Secondary indexes allow the actual query of complex information. So instead of just getting things back by key values, the secondary indexes allow us to do much more intensive queries, like what I said before, like an age between 15 and 20 on a contract that represents people. Or things even more complex, like if you had a restaurant DAP and you said, give me back all menu items that contain carrots, stuff like that. That must use secondary indexes. Now, these other projects do have it, and it generally goes hand in hand with a query language, such as SQL or a restricted level of SQL. The next part is efficient complex query proofs. This is a little bit harder to explain, but even if you can make proofs, you want them to be efficient for mobile clients, and it's not always the case in some of these projects. So it's not great when mobile clients have to download megabytes to be able to just prove a small amount of data. So in our system, the proofs are as efficient as they can be. Asterisks, as much as we think they can be. Yes. On top of that, versioning. Our system does support versioning, and we are providing through platform a developer-friendly SDK that not all of these other projects have, and without an SDK, it's very hard to use. So I hope that answers the question of why we built this. And one other thing that I would like to say, here you guys see green squares, all green squares for GroveDB and RS Drive. A normal database would have a lot more things that we don't support, but that doesn't matter for our system. So we didn't do everything. This is just the subset that's required to make our system work, and we have accomplished those things. So with that, I will go back to, I'll stop sharing and we'll go back to the slides.
All right.
Okay.
I guess
so,
RS Drive.
Yeah. One thing, I'll be presenting this part. One thing that Maciek said earlier is that this sprint was heavily involved in fixing issues that we hadn't thought of before, probably just missed some things. One of those was querying by the primary key. Some of these queries were a little bit more complex than just getting one element by the primary key, and we now that works perfectly. So this is more like, let's imagine a restaurant has a ID, a unique ID that references that restaurant. Well, we could have done before queries saying, oh, give me a restaurant named Sal's Pizzeria in New York, and it would have returned that value. But the query is saying, give me the restaurant with ID, and the name of that ID was not working. So we fixed that. Support in operator and SQL query syntax. This was done by Wisdom. This was just to make debugging a little bit easier in our previous demo that we had shown. Remove empty trees when index property value is changed. This was a big bug where there was extra, kind of like cache data being left around in the database that was causing queries to fail. So it was a complicated fix, but we resolved it. So that's done as well. This is for Javid.
I believe.
Sure. Hello, guys. Javid here. And I'm going to walk you through a few minor issues we're having fixed or in progress. So apart from integrating the heavy feature of GroveDB, we are trying to optimize and fix tools we are providing for community as well to set up local networks to help developers to develop. So the first issue and the most bugging one we're having is an issue with log files of Drive. So as we are working with Docker containers, we would like to preserve those log files that are Drive, and so we're mounting them as volumes. And these has some issues with it. So we're trying to optimize and figure out how to avoid that in the future. Right now, it's still in progress since it's a tricky thing to do. Next, we did some maintenance work. So we've updated Tenderdash and core images in Dashmate tool, basically to their latest versions. Nothing special about that. And since we're integrating GroveDB and we've deployed it on DevNet, so only way is for us is forward. So we've removed MongoDB from deployment tool since we no longer need MongoDB anymore. So these are quick things we did in our tools.
Thank you. I guess Sam?
Yeah, sure. So I will be presenting GroveDB, sadly, because the two devs are currently indisposed and they couldn't make it to the review. So, but it does not work that I personally, well, actually, some items I worked with the team, but so very quickly, these are generally bugs that came on in the debugging process. We found out that we were missing the root hash on the reopen. It's kind of one of those oh no moments, but it was very easy to fix. It's just that in our testing, well, it always tests one time. So we were not testing. We didn't have the test to close it and reopen it. And then we fixed it. I mean, it was a very simple fix. The second one was fixed reinserted subtree ignores uncommitted changes. That is more complicated to explain. When we were deleting a specific, again, the way GroveDB works is that it's trees upon trees upon trees. And imagine that an element gets removed and a tree is removed. Underneath that tree has all of its data. And when you deleted it, all of the data should be wiped. But in one situation, basically, you could delete a data and then another transaction reinsert another piece of data that would recreate that same tree. And the data that should have been wiped actually stayed around. So it was kind of more complicated to find. I'm hoping that people realize that by probably how complicated it was to understand my explanation, but we also fixed that. There was also an issue in change propagation. This change propagation is how when you change an element in a tree, it has to propagate all the way up to the root hash, and there was an error there that we solved. So simplified temporary subtrees usage. Oh yes, because the error was actually in the change propagation, we were able to fix it, but it was not a very clean fix. Sometimes, dirty hacks happen. And Evgeny decided to refactor how the propagation work and how the temporary subtrays work in a very elegant way. And yeah, so that was the next bullet item. It's very, it's very nice now. Yes, so I can also say what they're currently working on. Wisdom is currently working on the proof system. Our proof system, to get things a little bit faster in V22, we decided to release, knowing that the proofs work, but they're not optimized. So we basically decided to release without proofs, and so the system can be worked on by mobile team, by incubator devs, and then in version 22.1 that comes as soon as the proofs are ready, we will be including proofs as well. And that's currently in progress, being done by Wisdom. Yes. Also, at the same time, Evgeny is working on the storage abstraction. Right now, we use RocksDB as a storage layer. In order to, how to put this, we wrote this a little bit quickly at the very beginning as a proof of concept, and there are always benefits from, even a better way to say it is, the best time to actually write code is after you wrote it. So sometimes there are slowdowns or some issues that are found, even though it's not causing a problem. In order to have very maintainable code, it's better to refactor something. So Evgeny is currently working on that. And with that, I will pass it on to SDK.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
All right, great. So in this sprint, we released a small patch to SDK, version 21.8, with a couple of bug fixes and one small feature introduced by pull request from Dash Incubator. We spent a good amount of time on designing architecture for block header synchronization in the wallet, and this work is actually a continuation of the POC demonstrated on the previous sprint review. We fixed a small bug related to missing items in the transaction history of the wallet, which I believe had a huge impact on the Dash Incubator's work. So yeah, we hope they're happy with that. And yeah, we are continue making a substantial architectural change in the wallet library related to storage and keychain for DashPay feature, and also handling the proper caching for on-chain data in DAPI for SPV reasons. I will demonstrate this a second bullet point related to the architecture of block headers synchronization in the wallet. Yep, sharing my screen right now. Is everything good?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, as I already said, this effort is a continuation of DAPI SPV implementation for the wallet library. And the rationale behind that is that we wanted to quickly and early integrate the SPV for block headers into the wallet, and to test a couple of conceptions and to bring some enhanced security and additional verification to transactions and block headers, to optimize certain requests, and actually it's optimization of obtaining transactions metadata, the thing that I demonstrated on the last sprint review. And also a crucial thing for make this happen is increased reliability for storage integrity. I will start quickly showing the wallet life cycles that actually, well, yeah, let's call them wallet life cycles as it's in the title. So there are actually two phases of wallet life cycle. Let's say it's initial load of the wallet with the empty storage, and all subsequent loads where there is actually something present in the storage, some chain data. So for the initial load is quite simple. First, we are checking whether the wallet is new. New means that we are generating a new mnemonic for the wallet. And in that case, we have to synchronize a certain amount of the last block headers to it and verify them against each other. Once this process is done, we are initiating a continuous synchronization of newly arriving block headers. About this magical number n here. So n represents the amount of headers to keep in the SPV chain, and it should be big enough to provide a reasonable level of security and small enough to avoid unnecessary storage usage. For now, we will stick with the constant from which mobile clients are using, and it equals to 5,000 of block headers. In case wallet imports any existing mnemonic, we have to synchronize historical transactions and block headers, verify them against each other. And if everything is all right, we can finalize initialization process, and users' SDK will be ready to send transactions and interact with the platform. This is a small diagram illustrating the synchronization of both headers and transactions, and so on and so forth. I will not go into deep detail about that and proceed directly to a second stage of wallet lifecycle when we are loading it for second time and we have something in the storage. So this flow is simpler than the previous one. However, it adds 2 more steps before the synchronization. First, when we are opening the wallet, we must ensure that storage integrity is intact, and we must verify the chain data in the storage in a similar way as we do it in real-time synchronization. If everything is all right, we're proceeding to syncing up to the latest chain height from the latest known block, and proceeding with the continuous synchronization of the block headers after that, and transactions, of course. I will quickly elaborate on the requirements for storage integrity. So here's how I see it. Once wallet starts, we must ensure that last known block hash and last known block height is present in the storage. We have n last block headers in the storage. They are verifiable against each other, and the last block header is hash matching the last known block hash variable in the storage. All transactions have their metadata such as block height, block hash, and also they are aware whether they are instant locked and chain locked. And all transactions have their Merkle blocks and they are verifiable against them. That's pretty much it about the wallet life cycles. And the next thing to illustrate would be the error handling. I would like to particularly give details about these 3 points. So storage integrity errors. There are many ways that something might go wrong with the storage. Something might be missing, something might be malformed for whatever reason. And for now, for the simplicity and for quicker delivery, we decided to restart over. In case anything goes wrong with the storage, we are going to wipe it and start loading from over. And in the future, we might want to implement some graceful way of storage restoration, so that instead of downloading everything from scratch, we just find missing pieces, get them back, and resynchronize them. And these 2 points about the actual verification. So in case anything goes wrong with the block headers of our transactions verification, we will alert user about that, and we will stop the wallet so that there is no chance that application will use the unverified state of chain, and this way we will be able to prevent a possible loss of funds for the wallet. That's about the error handling. Last thing would be the technical architecture, which is I don't want to go to this into deep detail. I will just demonstrate this quickly, this diagram for the interaction between components of our system, where is wallet, DAPI client, and DAPI. And for the actual classes and services for wallet, we will use the existing plugin infrastructure in the wallet library. This is the plugin we already have operating, which synchronizes the transactions. And we will add one more, which is going to synchronize block headers from the chain. That's pretty much it, I think. I'd be happy to hear any questions about that and any comments. So maybe if I missed something, or if someone thinks that this schema is incomplete, please let me know. That's it.
All right.
Balashi stopped the screen sharing at my end, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So we should move on with Tenderdash. Dima.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dmitry from Tenderdash, developer from Tenderdash. Yeah, first of all, we finally have done with the backporting V07 to V08, and the current development branch is V08 dev. But unfortunately, Tenderdash code base is still unstable. And so the current step for our team makes V08 dev stable after this backport. We have some strange behavior in the consensus unit test and E2E, and our effort have been focused on finding and fixing bugs, which sometimes might be not related to the failed component. Basically, the consensus logic doesn't seem to be broken, but some of the latest fixes correspond to a completely different component. For instance, one of the issue came from the log library, especially if the log level is debugged. So it's kind of really highly increase the complexity of working on the stabilization of this branch. Also, we detected and fixed a couple of data race issues. First was in a mock private valid component, private validator component, and second when and logging pure state data. Also, we refactored the code a bit, added protix hash to the address book entry. This improvement allows us to have a reference between a node ID and protix hash. Unlike a node ID, protix hash attribute doesn't belong to P2P module, but sometimes we need to identify protix hash by node ID. So P2P manage only node ID, and this improvement should help us with this. Yeah, pretty much it from my side. Thank you.
I would like to add something really quickly. Just that this work on Tenderdash is for V23 of platform. So everything that people see in orange, it is not blocking V22. It is that Tenderdash is in advance and is for the next version. Just pointing that out.
Thank you. And get back to Maciek.
Yes. So, guys, thanks. Big thanks for all those comments, for those explanations, and let me just close the cycle and get back to some short-term plans for the whole team for upcoming weeks. So obviously, regarding platform V22, as gentlemen previously mentioned, we're coming close to the testnet release after stabilizing all of the issues that are currently present on DevNet, and this will be the main goal and the most important objective to put it straight and just accomplish this milestone Just to provide you with some additional context, it's not actually addressed to the platform team directly, but mobile SDKs needs to be aligned to the latest protocol changes. That also means few improvements in the JS wallet as well, because just of the volume of refactor and of changes in the core protocol part, in the core platform part, let's say. So just to bring you this, just to let you know that this will be also on the table of other teams that are say directly related to how platform is functioning. And what's very important, and it was very good information, that we will be starting the fee system implementation. I would like to get back to the fact that fee system will be the most important point for version 23. Like concept-wise, this whole system, how fees will work, has been settled some time ago. And the very good news is that architecture-wise, it also has been settled, like in 95%. So we know what pieces, what parts of logic should be placed into what components of the platform. It's all designed and pretty much clear. So it's just right now to start coding and just bring feature by feature up to have it consistent. In terms of SDK, we can say that it's just like a continuation of Igor was saying, integrate SPV block headers into the wallet, and still improving QA for in-browser execution. I must say that I need to refer to the last event because we've been speaking about this as well. However, because of some unexpected stuff that just was brought to the table of SDK team, we didn't do much progress about that. But this will be definitely progressed in the following time. And we can move on to the next slide. Oh, I think that we skipped. Oh yeah, precisely. Thank you for that.
Sorry.
And a few words about GroveDB and Tenderdash. Well, GroveDB, just continuation what Sam was referring to, proofs implementation and internal storage improvements. This is like not so crucial at the moment. So like the team has time for that. It's just future improvements and also related rather to ongoing platform releases, not the one that currently team is chasing for. And Tenderdash, well, we have some more long-term things that we need to clarify, like will be related also to the agenda for Tendermint, but it's rather long-term. So let me just bring up more details about this short-term perspective. The 08 DevNet pre-release, which contains the backports that have been brought up recently, which is also for the further platform releases, not blocking any current progress. And yeah, that would be it.
All right. As I'm looking at the questions in the chat, I believe most of them are kind of answered in the chat by the team members. So if you have any questions, please, I guess, post it. If you see, I am telling the team, if you see any question that hasn't been answered yet in the chat, please let me know. Yeah, please, Sam.
There's one that I wanted to tackle. Actually, there's more than one. But the first one is, when is the expected launch of V22 to testnet? This is currently what's happening. We have two things that go to testnet relatively at the same time. We have V18 of core and V22 of testnet, V22 of platform. And currently V18 of core is the more, in my opinion, important one. So what our current plan is, well, let me quickly talk about core because that wasn't covered. V18 of core hit a DevNet yesterday, and as far as I know, it's still stable. The plan there is to move to a larger, currently that DevNet has 31 nodes. It's not representative of a big network, and the changes in V18 of core are monumental. So our next phase is to go to a testnet of a DevNet, sorry, of 150 nodes. That should be happening tomorrow. And after that, if it passes 150 nodes, it will go to a DevNet of 1,000 nodes. Obviously, 1,000 nodes is pretty expensive, so we'll probably only run that DevNet for about 8 hours. And when that's passing, we will be pushing V18 to testnet, make sure that it's stable for a day or two, and then push V22 to testnet. Currently, V22 is on a DevNet, so the mobile team can use it. We can also give access to any incubator devs that need it if they need a few days, or if they want a sneak peek, about a week earlier. But right now, V22 is on DevNet, so we can, and the tests are passing. So, we could push it out right now. It's just a little complicated with two releases at the same time. This has actually never happened to us before.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you or anyone else would like to address?
Sure. There was also a question, I believe, on TorChain integration. Yes, it is. You are correct. Digital Cash Network, there is something that we need to merge in. And I talked to my devs as I saw this question, and it's going to be reviewed tomorrow. So hopefully it will get merged in quickly.
All right, thank you. Anything else we see? If nothing else, then thank you for staying with us, for watching. Thanks for the questions, and see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.